Hello, my gorgeous ones. Welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love affordable fashion, beauty. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. Today, we have the brand new spooky season release from Nomad Cosmetics. Little preview, and I am so excited to sit down, do several looks for you guys. This releases on Tuesday to jumpstart us into spooky season. So if you want to see some fun looks with this, get my thoughts on the brand new Nomad Cosmetics palette. Ooh, keep on watching. All right, you guys, so I'm going to keep this kind of short and sweet the way that I introduced this palette. In the past, I've kind of gone on and on about everything with the backstory of the Nomad palettes, but by now you guys probably know they are a destination eyeshadow brand primarily. They do have other products as well, but so here they are taking us on Ghost Tours USA. Such a cool idea, and this is a haunted tours and abandoned mines. That is the inspiration behind here. Talking about the American Wild West, the settlements, gunslingers, gamblers, gold diggers, all the seedy things of the Wild West, and as if, you know, all that disappeared and the ghost towns and ghost mines that are left behind. Such a fun idea. Now, true to form with Nomad packaging, I mean, come on. If you guys remember Haunted Europe, you had this fun where you see the skull. I don't know if that's really showing up very well today. There we go. But on this one, we have the normal Wild West to the spooky Wild West. Freaking awesome. That is so fun. As soon as I saw that, I was like, brilliant. So smart. I live in what you would call like, they call it the West, sort of like Southwest, but it's really not anymore. I'm more just South Texas. Well, I'm in West Texas, but it's funny because so many of, this is what some abandoned towns look like around where I live. So I'm like, and every time you drive through, that's what they're called. They're called a ghost town, and they're kind of creepy. So I'm loving this theme so much, and I am just going to go ahead and show you guys what she looks like inside. Beautiful color story here. We have a very cool toned color story. We have some neutrals in here, but primarily like blue, dusty blues and greens. You have like a taupey shade here, brown. So you can really do a lot of everyday looks with this, I think, but then you can also punch it up with some of these like deeper shades and go into these beautiful metallics. Now, these shimmers, to me, whenever I swatch them, and I'm going to show you guys here in a minute, they seemed more metallic than some of the other Nomad shimmers. And I only swatched the shimmers because pretty much like Nomad's mattes are their mattes, but their shimmers can be different. Like sometimes they are a topper shade, sometimes they are just a traditional shimmer. And these are different to me. And actually on the back, it does say that they were, let's see, formulated extra fine pigments for smoother than silver feel and richer than platinum payoff, infused with prickly pear cactus seed oil. So I do think maybe these shimmers are a little bit different. They are very metallic, a metallic-y shimmer, which I happen to love. So let me go ahead and just show you guys a close-up of the palette and then swatches of the shimmers on my hand. I'm really excited to dip into this, and that is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to try to do 4 looks, two different ones on the eyes, 2 different days. So in order to have this not be too painfully long, I am going to just jump in if I can find the right. Okay, what do I want here? Here's my plan. On one eye each day, I guess I'll do my left, is I want it to be kind of more of a everyday wearable eye look. And then the right side I want to be more like deep, dark, mysterious, just like the front of the palette. That's my idea anyway. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with Bandit Queen right here. And the little imprints, as you saw from the video, I mean, they're so good. They always do just the best embossing and packaging. I expect nothing less from Nomad. Now, I guess I should have done this real, let me show you because I've got it right here. This is what the inside of Haunted Europe looked like. So they are quite different, just in case you're wondering if you already own this one. There are shades that I think complement each other really well between the two, like the greens, the purple, this like pinky shade here, even the browns. But when you put them right next to each other, they are not the same. So see, they like really actually complement so well. So you don't have to risk that you're getting any repeat shades in here. Just that if you already own Haunted Europe, which is discontinued now, then you can just pair this one with it. And I love Haunted Europe. Like, it's always sad when they discontinue. I understand why, because if you're gonna, you know, come out with a new spooky season palette that's, you know, kind of like the tours like Haunted Europe was, then I understand you really don't need to keep both in your inventory. Now, this shade is definitely going on pigmented and a tad darker than it looks in the pan. So just so that you know, that means the one below it that's even deeper is going to be quite a bit deeper on the lid. Okay, next up, I'm going to go with this Undead Sheriff right here, which looks like a really deep taupe. Okay, that's really pretty. It's kind of leans actually more gray. In the pan, it kind of looks like it's more brown. But I actually really like that because I'm a sucker for a gray. These are very cool tone leaning. I think that they're even slightly more cool toned on the eye than they appear in the pan. And you guys, I'm just gonna kind of talk as I'm doing this because I want to bring something up. And if you're here, thank you. Well, obviously you're here because you're watching, but I just want to thank you for being here and watching, because I know there's lots of choices out there, especially with these Nomad releases. Everyone's always rushing to be one of the first to post. Time out. I'm gonna go with Ghost Town, this lighter green up here. But you know, you chose to watch me, and that really means a lot to me. If I'm being honest, some of these prior releases here recently can be a little bit frustrating because, you know, I don't know where my views are going to be at with this video. I know it's not all about the views, but as someone who is trying to do 4 looks with this palette, that takes time, you know. In the past, I've usually done like full swatches, and you know, I always try to film the palette untouched for you guys first so you can see it up close, untouched. Those all like blend really beautifully together. And then the 4 looks, and then to get no views a lot of the times is just disheartening. It's frustrating. And then, you know, you see the same big creators get all the views and they just do 1 look, and that can be, okay, let's see, time out again. I'm gonna go in with Stagecoach Mary right here, and I'm just gonna put that with this skinny side. This is something I've been doing lately, is taking like a skinnier flat brush like this and using the end to get into my crease, because I have very like hooded eyes as far as like my brow bone hangs over. And so in order to get right in there, this is what I've been doing, and I feel like it makes a difference. So anyway, I was saying a lot of these, you know, bigger creators that they get a ton of PR, you know, a lot of them get paid opportunities and they get all the views, which granted, they've done a lot of work to get where they're at. I'm not saying they don't deserve any views at all, but it gets frustrating when you know that sometimes you're putting in more work than they are and nobody watches your video. So I just really want to say thank you so much, so much for being here. Let's see, on the bottom, I think I want to go with Deadwood right here. That's the deepest brown. I'm just going to take this again with this flat side. And yeah, this is a really beautiful, deep, dark, rich brown. And I'm going to kind of bring that up into this corner as well. These mats are performing like I'm used to with the Nomad mats. If you're familiar with them, they are very pigmented, really easy to work with. I very, very rarely have issues with their mats. I rarely see people say anything negative about the mats. Maybe occasionally they'll be, you know, with just some more difficult blues or purples, you know, may have to work a little bit better to not have some patchiness, but that's with almost any brand. But for the most part, they work beautifully. You guys, I may end up, I always say, I'm like, I'm going to keep this eye like every day and like kind of neutrally, and then I don't stay committed to that. I feel like this might be my deeper side for the day. So, okay guys, I'm really realizing how these pull so cool toned. Like this Bandit Queen, the first one that I put on, I'm like, I'm not really sure how this turned into like a dark and stormy kind of blue look when I don't feel like I used any blues, but that's just how cool tone they are. So that kind of threw me off. Really pretty though, really pretty. So this may end up being my darker side that I do instead of, I may switch them. So I really think this smoky quartz then might go really beautifully with this. Now, whenever I did this in the swatch, it is like blues with purple, pink sparkles in it. I wouldn't say it's like it's not like a duochrome or anything. It's not going to have really a shift. It's not a shifty shimmer, but it's multi-dimensional. It definitely has multiple colored sparkles in that. Really pretty when you want to do a deeper shimmer. Okay, that is pretty, but I do want to lighten up the lid a little bit. So I'm going to go in with Quicksilver right here. That's that more icy blue. And I'm just going to see what happens when I layer that, just so I can use most, oh, that's pretty. Quicksilver is, I am a sucker for an icy blue shimmer that really helps just kind of brighten that up. And that's pretty. This would be actually a beautiful winter look too, I could see. Okay, for the inner corner, where is my, okay, new. Okay, inner corner, I think, what do I want to pop in there? Let's go, you know what? Let's go with something a little bit more unexpected. I'm going to go in with Ghost Train. That is down here. And see what that looks like. Just popping a purpley pink. It does have a darker base to it. So I'm not sure this is the best color to pop in the inner corner, because then it kind of gives that dark appearance in the corner of your eye. I mean, it's a really pretty shade. Really, really, really pretty. So again, to lighten it up and to just use as many of the shimmers as we can, I'm gonna take this Rhyolite Nevada and see what that does. Okay, that's pretty. This is probably a better inner corner shade. I feel like these are slightly squishier, these shimmers, than I'm used to from Nomad, but I do think that that's not a bad thing. This helps keep it kind of that like icy look. Okay. All right, let's stop right there for that eye. Now we're gonna move on to the other one, and let's see if I can make this one just a little bit lighter. Okay, for this eye, I think in order to kind of make it look cohesive, I am going to take this Skinner's Room right here and place that in the outer corner. Ooh, that's a beautiful blue. Ooh, that's so pretty. Okay, it may just be that today is just going to be more of a blue toned look altogether. All right, now I'm kind of going backwards from what I normally do depth wise. I'm gonna take Calamity Jane and I'm gonna start deepening this up a little bit. So what I'm realizing as I'm using this palette is this is going to be for definitely for cool tone lovers. If you're a warm tone lover only, like, and you hate cool tones or you think they look terrible on you, you are not going to get a warm tone out of here. I love cool tones, so I'm totally fine with that. There's not a ton of variety as far as, I don't think, like with the mattes that you're going to get in here, because they pull fairly similar. Like how I thought there were browns in here that kind of layered on, other than really this one on the bottom, that they kind of pull more gray with like a blue tone, like I was saying. So even now as I'm kind of building that up, there's not a ton of difference. So just keep that in mind. I'm gonna say right now that I mean, of course, I'm only on look number 2, but I think the start is gonna be the shimmers in this palette and the packaging. All right, so now I think what I'm gonna do is take a Undead Sheriff right here and kind of place that in the inner portion here. So the other thing I'm noticing, there's not a ton of, they're all fairly like mid-toned to deep. There's really not light mattes. Like this is probably, this and Ghost Town are the lightest mattes, obviously. I mean, you can tell that by the palette, but they still pull a bit deeper. That blends so pretty into there. Like this is a stunning matte shade to blend with blues. But do you see how like they don't look that different? Yeah, they look really similar. Okay, all right, now on the lower lash line for this look, I think I will go in with Dead Man's Hand down here at this deepest blue. This is like a midnight blue for sure. I do like the tone of this one too. It's really, really, really pretty. Okay, so now it is time for the shimmer for this eye. I really think the way to make the looks different with this palette is going to come down to the shimmers for sure. So I am going to go, I think, with Copper Penny, just because this is just like a totally different, you know, color from not that like iciness. So that does kind of warm it up a little bit. That actually looks super, super cool together. This kind of reminds me of denim and pennies. That's what that reminds me of. I like those together a lot. See, the shimmer is going to be what makes the look stand out, because even now, almost done with look 2, I'm kind of wondering my next 2 looks, how I'm going to get them to look different other than the shimmers. I'm not sure that I will. Just being honest with you guys, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just more monochromatic mattes than it, I think, appears at first glance. Okay, so we have used these. You know what? I think let's go with Gold Rush. This top one. I may use my finger for this one. Ooh, yeah. Okay. So pretty. I really, really, the metallic shimmers in here are stunning. They're so pretty. Really, really impressed with those. Okay, and actually while I'm in here, I'm gonna see if my finger will pick this one up a little bit more, that lighter. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm gonna pop on lashes and liner in a different look in a different lip and come back and just show you the final first 2 looks. Okay, the half lashes are on, plus the liner, and I wanted to get a little bit closer because I want you guys to be able to really tell the difference in these shimmers, because I think the shimmers are just where it's at with this palette. And mattes are not identical, but not too far away from each other. So those are the first 2 looks. I'm not sure what I'm doing for the next 2. I may use a black base just to see if I can get it to look a lot different, and then use the shimmers I haven't touched. But I do think these looks are beautiful. Shimmers are definitely where it's at. All right, you guys, day number 2, and the next 2 looks I'm gonna do. I was laying in bed and I was thinking about it, and I realized that the 2 looks yesterday are probably some of the most wearable looks you're gonna get from this palette. So I really wanna go for it today and do really like bold, dark. Of course, you could use them like just a light shade in a light shimmer to get something as light as possible. But if you're gonna use multiple shades in here, they are so mid-tone to dark that you're gonna get just a little bit like more dramatic of an eye, not like super light. So yesterday's really were kind of like everyday looks. Today I'm gonna go a little bit deeper here. So what I want to do is I am going to kind of draw on the deepest shade. On this side, I'm gonna do Deadwood, the deepest brown, and then this other side, I'm gonna do Arrested Decay. I've not used this one yet. And draw the same sort of shape and fill it in, and then have some fun with the shimmers. So I'm going to take this really skinny angled brush here. I just realized too that I completely forgot to put eye primer on. So we're still just going to see how this works without. Very, very, very pigmented. Like I used this one yesterday on the lower lash line. And it is very pigmented. So it looks a little bit crazy like this, but I promise I have a vision for this. I'm gonna kind of start connecting these. I really like these brushes for the shape of brush with this specific type of a look. When it has this angle and it's skinny, I can draw on this outline. Okay, so like a shape like that. Woo! And then I am going to fill this in. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a dense brush and get that same shade. And I'm just gonna start packing on the pigment and just fill it in like this. Okay, it's filled in and I'm not worried about this part of my lid because that's where I'm gonna put a black base before the shimmer. So now I'm gonna take Ghost Town, the lightest here, just kind of fill in the inner portion of my lid. This truly is the lightest shade in here. Next to this brown, and this actually does pull brown. The other ones pull more gray. But next to the brown, this does look more green than it did mixing in with the blue. It's kind of one of those that takes on the shade next to it. So you can kind of manipulate it to be more of a bluish next to the blues, or if you keep it next to this brown, it does have a bit more green to it. Okay. I think that's about where I want it. Okay, for the bottom, I don't, let's see, I think I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna do this mid-tone one here, Bandit Queen, because I don't want this to be as dark as this matte up top. And yeah, see this does pull like a grayish brown instead of a true brown. This one's pretty true brown up here. It almost like has like a purpley tone, like a lavender tone mixed in, like a really deep taupe is what this Bandit Queen looks like. Now this is a little bit of experiment for me. I've never tried this product. This is the About Face Eye Paints. And this is like a true black. So I'm just going, oh my gosh, my pug is at the door stalking me. If you can, he gets right up to it and like sniffs to make sure I'm in here. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of lay this down and then take this brush. I'm not sure how quickly you need to work with this product. I'm just gonna spread it in where I want to place the shimmer. And the reason why I'm doing this is I'm just seeing if the black base really makes this shimmer like pop. It's really fun to do with multi-chromes, duochromes, to put a black base under, but I'm just gonna see what it does here with this shimmer. Okay, that looks pretty opaque. So since I have not used garnet right here, I am gonna go in with that. Okay, and place that on top. Oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. I have a feeling that it just makes it kind of glow and pop more on this black base, probably than it would have if it was just on a flesh tone lid. Very dramatic, very different. We're going very different from yesterday. And that was my whole point of today, is I wanted to see if I can get it looking like I'm actually got something different than the other two looks. And then I'm going to take Ghost Train. That's that one that I did yesterday in the inner corner. But this time I'm just going to put it, not like pop it too much in the inner corner, just in the inner portion of my lid. I like that. That's really, really pretty. Just kind of blend it into the deeper one. And Garnet looks like it has like some gold sparkles. It's definitely one of those multi-color sparkle shimmers. Okay, and then I think I need to take this green and just bring it up a little bit higher here and blend it in a little bit better. Oh my gosh, my pug is such a stalker. Here I'm like snorting away at my door. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it sounds crazy. I think that looks pretty cool, actually. Of course, it's always going to look different once it actually has, you know, like the lashes on and the liner on, but I do think that looks pretty cool. Okay. Do I want to put something in the inner corner? I think that I do, and I think I'm going to use Quicksilver, which I used yesterday on the lid. Oh, that's fun. That's a really pretty inner corner shade. I need to use my eye drops. It'll also look better when I use my eye drops because right now they're like, look so red. I really like that as an inner corner. That is really, really pretty. Okay, fun. That's fun. I think that did achieve something that looks totally different from yesterday. So now I am going to start in on with this eye, and I'm going to go in with Arrested Decay, which I've been curious if this is, and again, I don't have primer on, and I think these are working really, really well. I've been curious if this is a black or just like a deep, deep charcoal. Looks pretty dark, but I can't tell if this is like opaque black. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the same thing on this eye and draw the same sort of shape. Okay, so I went ahead and filled it in, and I'll just show you how you can't tell a huge difference. Like this is, and I think it is like a charcoal. It is not a true black. And then this is, you know, a brown, a deep brown, but from far away, you can't really tell that much, but up close you can. Okay, Stagecoach Mary, that is what I'm going, so it's a little bit deeper of just the inner portion. I'm gonna fill in here. And again, this does pull pretty cool toned with almost a bluish tone as well, instead of green. It definitely looks more green in the pan, just like we were talking about yesterday. I do like these two together. It looks very like dark and stormy. Okay, I'm actually gonna kind of just take this fluffier one, just kind of blend those in a little bit. Okay, lower lash line, we are going to do, I'm going to take Calamity Jane, which is this kind of, it is a blue. It's not as deep as the one below it that's more of a midnight blue. This is almost like a, what would I call this blue? Like this is a little bit more cool tone grayish up here. This one's like, what would I call this blue? I mean, it's pretty. We're just gonna call it pretty blue because I can't think right now specifically of what blue this is. I do really like it. Okay, I went ahead and did the black eye base again. That works really, really well, by the way. The About Face, really well. Okay, super excited to take Calico California, the like real true metallic-y green. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. This is why we do a black base. That's so good. So good. That looks so cool. Yes, yes. I'm really, really happy, you guys, that I went this route, that I decided to do the dramatic looks today just to get a little bit more versatility out of the palette and use the black base. That's so fun. Okay, then I think what I'm going to do, how about I'm going to take Copper Penny, used that one yesterday, and I'm just going to pop that right here on the inner portion of the lid, not the corner, just the inner portion. That looks super cool. Okay. And then for inner, I'm going to use Gold Rush, which is that more gold, but there's still like a little, there's definitely a green, like it's a green gold. That's cool. Love that in the inner corner. Okay, super happy with these looks. I think they look really, really cool and different. So let me go ahead and pop on the lashes, the lip. I still feel like it always looks a little bit funky without those, and you're gonna see, but this is more like spooky season and really, really fun. So let me come back. Okay, you guys, lashes are on. This is rad. This is rad. And then the lip look, it's so vampy and sexy. I love this. Like, okay, it's been a while since I've done a look like this, and this makes me really, really excited. I feel like this is what this palette is actually about. So fun. Okay, you guys, my overall opinions of this palette, really, really fun. There's some things I learned about it for sure while using it. One is that it is very cool tone, pulls very blue, gray leaning, even this row here, except for this one. These ended up being more like purpley than they are pink, just for reference. Wait, yes, these two. Shimmer formula is excellent. I do believe it is a different formula. I don't know. I did not have any of that hard pan issue. It didn't seem gritty and dry. It is very metallic. Some of them have like multiple colors, sparkles in here. Honestly, you're not gonna get like everyday light looks out of this. You may get everyday if you like cool tones, and then you like just like a little bit like deeper for your everyday, and then you can go really, really dramatic. I think it's really fun if you're looking for dark, stormy mattes with really metallic, shiny shimmers, then I think this could be for you. Packaging A+. And you guys, I believe I left out that proceeds go to help the birds of prey. I did not get the insert with this because it got sent to me a little bit earlier before I was able to get that typically comes in the Nomad palettes. Oh, it does say birds of prey at the Peregrine Foundation. So you always know that part of the proceeds go to help a cause. I do have a code. If I didn't mention it before, it is Budget Beauty to save 10%. This does launch on Tuesday. I think it is a really fun addition to the Nomad collection. You know, again, if you're just a warm tones only, bright, sunny, like this palette isn't for you. If you love cool tones and metallic shimmers and you don't mind some more kind of monochromatic mattes, then I think this would be an excellent buy for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this. You'll have to let me know your favorite looks. There are definitely these two today for me. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.